MetsMusings is an unofficial, independent podcast covering New York's National League Baseball team. It is not affiliated in any way with Major League Baseball or the New York Mets.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of MetsMusings.
Hello and welcome to another edition of MetsMusings. Number 420, I think it is, and we were off a week because, quite honestly, not much to report. Not much at all report. We still don't have a lot, but at least there's a little bit of something that we could put together a show, and let me get my notes set up here. As you probably know, the new owner, Steve Cohen, is he the new owner? Well, he's been approved by the committee of the owners. Now it goes to all of the owners to vote on whether or not they will accept his bid and membership into their old boys club, I guess you could call it. But wait, because this is the Mets, there is always a stumbling block, and it looks like the stumbling block this time could be the moron mayor of New York, Bill DeBlasio. Apparently, DeBlasio, in a story, does not want Cohen to own the Mets. Yes, you've heard it right. And he can stop it. It comes before him to approve only because New York City land is owned. The land that Citi Field is on is owned by the city of New York, and they have to approve. And there is some sort of a thing that says they don't have to approve any anybody that's got a criminal record, any people that they don't like, essentially. There may be a way of stopping it. And his corporation, Steve Cohen's, that is, some time ago, was convicted of insider trading. And so this might be enough. But let's keep in mind that Cohen was never indicted or convicted of any or charged with anything. So that might be his out. And most lawyers have said that de Blasio would lose in court, so they don't even know why the holdup would take place. But still, this is a wrinkle, and it is the Mets, so you never know with that. De Blasio is a waste, a moron, a complete incompetent boob. And this is probably his his chance to get in the limelight, to get some publicity, because he's been hammered all campaign season for his, and all summer for his stupid handling, allowing people to riot in New York, and the destruction of the economy of New York, and his stupid handling of the pandemic with the shutdowns and all of that, and the deaths in New York City as well as New York State. Thank you, Governor Cuomo, another moronic loser that we are saddled with here in New York. Two moronic losers. And This is just something up their evil handbag that they have of tricks to get their name in the press. Now, his press secretary says it's not true, the story, that they're just using their legal responsibility to make sure that everything is all right above board. What a load of crap. I wouldn't believe anything that comes out of DeBlasio's mouth or his office. They're all a bunch of liars. And this is all for political gain or loss. Actually, I mean, he can't run for office again. He's been term limited out. DeBlasio has. He was embarrassed when he... I can't help but laugh. He actually was running for president as a Democratic candidate. I mean, he's almost as bad as... He may be worse than Biden, but I don't know. But then again, so where does he have to go? I mean, his reputation stinks, but of course this is New York. He could run for governor or for senator or something and win. Because New York is so ridiculous to voters. I'd love to move. I'd love to move out of here tomorrow and head down to nice warm climes and get out of this lousy weather and head down to nicer weather. But so be it. I could still do the show. I could do the show from anywhere. I could do it from Florida. I could do it from Carolina. I could do it from Georgia, Texas. Hey, Arizona, the weather's nice. I could do it from anywhere. So, Mrs. doesn't want to leave, though. That's the problem. But anyway, so DeBlasio is trying to make himself relevant because he's such an irrelevant moron right now. And, he's trying to get his 2 cents into this. But it looks like the owners will be approving it, and it could be as early as tomorrow. So my question is, if the owners approve him, then he owns the team according to Major League Baseball, I would think. And if DeBlasio then says, well, we're not going to approve the lease because we don't want him because he's a criminal, what happens? I mean, if I'm Cohen at that point, then I say, okay, fine. We're moving the team. And I'd negotiate with, somewhere else. Negotiate, play out here maybe in a Duck Stadium or something. I know it's a minor league stadium and he would take a bath. But he wouldn't have time to do anything about it, so he'd have to find a stadium quick, I guess. I don't know what would happen at that point. Maybe he would just violate the whole trade. It would just, void the whole trade, I should say. Don't know. It's an interesting situation. Most people think that DeBlasio, the pressure will be too great. But there's 2 groups now. And one of the other groups is a bunch of wacko progressives that killed the Amazon deal. They're getting their 2 cents. They want to get their 2 cents put into this. And one of the leaders of that group is State Senator Jessica Ramos. And it turns out that she was in favor of the A-Rod group. So this could be a big plan to try to stop Cohen and get A-Rod in there. And they'll use that whole minority ownership and all of that. Look, he didn't have the money He got outbid. It was fair and square. But we've known A-Rod to cheat before, so maybe this is another attempt at cheating again by coming in a back door using politics and political ways to do it. But it's just a cheesy situation, and I hope it all falls apart on him, and it lands in the gutter because that's where it deserves. Uh, and DeBlasio's a Red Sox fan, so he might have a bone to pick with the Mets anyway, going back to '86. But again, according to the law, he does have a right to weigh in on the pending sale, and everybody thought it would be a formality, and he would just sign off on it, but this is the Mets, and this is New York, and so we've got this lingering situation to wonder about. But it gives us something to talk about today, other than the Mets' pursuit of JT Realmuto or Trevor Bauer or Francisco Lindor. Are you tired of the rumors already? As much as I am? I gotta say, I'm sick of hearing about trying to get Lindor. Get Lindor. Yeah, he's a nice player. He's a great player, but we would have to give up too much other stuff to get him. And is he a game changer? I don't know that he entirely is. And if you're giving up a bunch of stuff to get him, then you're giving up other key pieces that you might need. So where is the sense behind that? Isn't it better to try to keep the key pieces and try to build when you have an adequate shortstop and these players, these type of players, and really don't need to move in this direction? I think fans sometimes they want everything, and I understand that. But sometimes you have to be a little sensible too, and you have to think that we don't need a shortstop, and we really don't need to be loading up and losing key players just to bring in a name guy like this. Would he help the team? Sure, he would help the team. I mean, you'd be stupid to say he wouldn't help the team. But I believe what this team really needs at this point is catching and they need pitching. Let's be honest. We really don't have a lot of pitching on this staff now. And look, let's, do you want JT Realmuto? Everybody wants JT Realmuto. But the stories come out and said that he would like to stay in Philadelphia and not really play in New York. He doesn't really want to come to New York. That's a big thing right there. He's telling you he's not really interested in coming here. Why force somebody? Yes, he will come if they have the most money out there offered to him. But why do it? Why pay him that kind of money if he's gonna be so? Is he gonna be really happy here? I don't think he will be. I don't, not by with the reports that everybody have said. So, these are all things you have to consider when you're running a business of this nature, running a ball club. Does the guy want to play here? You're gonna spend, I don't know, what do you want, $200 million or something? And is he going to be happy or not? Who knows? Let's have to decide on Marcus Stroman, whether they want to try to sign him. Personally, I would stay away from Marcus Stroman. Not a big Marcus Stroman fan. Was not big on the trade when they brought him here. Still not big on it. And then when he pulled the covert dropout or whatever you want to call it, and pulled out of the season, that was it for me. You tell him bye-bye, and that's it. Not the kind of guy I want around the house, the clubhouse. So, I wouldn't sign Stroman either. I think I would go after Bauer or make an offer with Bauer if he wants to come here. If not, well, that's fine too. But that would be more of my choice, trying to get Bauer in here, than some of these other guys that they're talking about. And there were some other, and don't forget, Scrappy Sandy's back. So what does Scrappy Sandy want to do? Scrappy could be hitting the scrap heap for guys. And there might be guys out there that are worth taking a chance on the scrap heap. We'll have to see. And the Mets did make some move this week. Let's take a break and come back after that break and talk about that.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a PhD in life through baseball? Welcome to Baseball PhD, a tour company for your brain. 30 major league teams, 100 places to see. Let's touch them all as we make the road trip of a lifetime.
Check out my Twitter page at MetsMusings1. And check out a Facebook group. It's at facebook.com/MetsMusings. Go check it out. And don't forget to call the hotline. It's 516-619-6341. Okay, and we're back. And, as of yesterday, I believe it was, the Mets have 14 players who are free agents. And they declined the option on Wilson Ramos. They also declined club options for the 2021 season on Robinson Chirinos and Todd Frazier. No surprises there to any of that. If you are, then surprised at that. But Ramos had a $10 million option, and they'll have to pay him a $1.5 million buyout, but that would be worth it. It was a terrible season for Ramos. Yes, I know it was a partial season and all of that, but time to cut ties with him. We've got a young prospect, 2-3 years away. We've got to fill in with somebody until that. Perhaps McCann from the White Sox would be a good choice. We'll have to see how that rolls as we get into the off season. Let's see. So who are all the Mets that that are going to become free agents, and is any worth keeping? Well, you got Yenis Cespedes, no. Jarrett Hughes, Jed Lowry, no. Jake Marisnick, no. Eduardo Nunez, no. Rick Porcello, Erasmo Ramirez, Rene Rivera, Marcus Stroman, Michael Wacha, and Justin Wilson all officially became free agents Wednesday morning. Of that whole crew, I would say perhaps Wilson might be the only one. Maybe Hughes, take a look at him. Wilson might be the only one I'd really consider bringing back, though. And, I don't think that they're talking about Ramirez or Nunez. Because in other news, the Mets have claimed infield Robel Garcia off of waivers from Cincinnati, and Ryan Cordell has been designated for assignment. So it doesn't seem like they're going to keep any of the infielders, I should say. Just looking to see now if anything is broke in the last, while we're recording this show, because things happen fast. So, beep 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 boop bop 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 bop. Let's see. And keep in mind that if you guys got any news or anything you'd like to talk about, the numbers are out there. You can give us a call at 619-6341. That's 516. That's the Google Voice number if you got a question or some sort of comment that you'd like to talk about, or any suggestions you might have for the Mets, and give us a call. Let's see. Well, nothing really happened with the Mets. Trevor Bauer says he could play in Japan. Okay. They do pay a lot of money, so who knows? Let's see. Well, here's something. Top prospects: Francisco Alvarez, Matt Allen, Pete Crow Armstrong, number one pick. Brett Batty, JT again, Ronnie Mauricio, Josh Wolf, and Mark Vientos are among 60 Mets players who are currently participating in the team's instructional league in Port St. Lucie. Alvarez, a catcher, is viewed as the Mets' top prospect per Baseball America. So, that's good news, because these guys most of them lost the whole season in minor league ball. Pete Crow Armstrong was the pick, and probably would have came to Brooklyn and played in the Penn League, New York Penn League, and played that short season, so he really didn't lose much time. But a lot of these other guys, yes, they played in Brooklyn, some of them in that whatever they were calling it, the extended roster, the extra overlay, whatever. But it's not the same, excuse me, as being in game play. And so now they get a chance to have a little bit of a taste of that, and hopefully some of them will go to also to winter ball and play in winter ball. And look, we don't even know about next season yet. We don't know what next season's going to look like. We don't know if there's going to be a spring training in February. We don't know if there's going to be a baseball season starting in late March or April and play 162 games. Everything is up in the air, and nothing's going to happen now, I don't think. I think the whole country is on hold due to the election, and a lot of things are going to break after the election when we find out what happens there. But we're going to have winter meetings in the MLB and general manager meetings, which should be in a couple of weeks, I think. And they will be apparently they all will be virtual. So that'll be a different twist. It'll be interesting how it gets covered. Because there's no hotels and everybody doesn't get that. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that sort of thing is going to be gone. But I'm sure they'll discuss a lot of these things, but we don't know at this point, and it's tough when you're doing a show like this because you don't even know what to talk about for next year. We're going to go on the premise that there's going to be a season, and the ownership has to go on that premise as well, because they have to be prepared in case something happens. And that's why it's imperative that Cohen gets approved by the owners and by the city, so we can move into these winter meetings and be able to sign free agents or to make trades. Wouldn't it be a shame if everything was delayed and the Mets were held back by one force or another and couldn't make any deals for next year? The only thing we really know about next year is it looks like the DH is off the table, thank God, for next season. It will not take place. But that's the only thing we know. And I believe that because of this pandemic, if you will, everything is up in the air. Everything is still crazy. And but I believe that a lot of it will die down after the election. So we'll have to wait for that. That's coming up in 5 days. So get out and vote. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Really have nothing new on the wire. I think we're all up to date. Tony La Russa was named as the manager of the Chicago White Sox today. 76 years old. Okay, Chicago, it's up to you. So that's news. Brad Hand was released due to money situations by the Cleveland Indians left-handed relief pitcher. Mets might be interested in picking him up. That might be a good pitch to make for him. He's been one of the most dominant relievers in baseball since 2016, posting a 2.70 ERA and a 1.06 WHIP while striking out 12.2 batters per 9 innings and saving 104 games in 320 innings pitched. So maybe the Mets ought to look at him. Brad Hand from the Cleveland Indians. And as I said, that's it. Nothing else to report. I want to thank you all for listening. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you listen to the podcast or watch the show. Hit that subscribe button, because that will keep you informed of when there's an episode. And with this crazy world we live in now, and lack of news coming out, or there may be a glut of news that comes out regarding the Mets, you want to know when a show is coming out. So hit the subscribe button. You'll be informed. Do it on Apple Podcast, whatever way you get the podcast, how you listen to it, Castbox. There's a number of other stations that we're on. Just subscribe so you're always aware when a show comes out. Same thing on YouTube. If you watch the video of the show, and yes, there is a video of the show, so go check that out as well. Hit that subscribe button to help me grow the show and expand to new listeners, and hit that bell as well so you always know when a new version of MetsMusings come out. And until the next time we get together, remember, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. And I'll see you next time on another edition of Mets Musings.